What up?
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of
With Marriage or Purpose?
Collide.
Yeah.
A little different.
Oh, it was a little pizzazz. There we go. I couldn't find a word.
It's like, what are you trying to say? What is happening? So welcome back to all of our first time listeners to our podcast. And if you've already listened to us and been listening to us, thank you for coming back. We love you. And we love everybody that's coming back and seeing us. So
Anytime. Go ahead and subscribe. Download. What else?
Watch.
Definitely
Yeah,
watch.
we're on YouTube. So
Ask questions.
Yeah. Do what you do. So we thank y'all for the support so far on our 4th episode. And so first, before we get started on our episode, is how's your week? How you been doing?
Actually, it wasn't bad.
Hmm?
Yeah, it wasn't like last week. I mean, we did have a little snow, but yeah.
Yeah. I did.
How was yours?
Yeah, it was stressful. I ain't even gonna say that it's not.
That's fine.
It was stressful, and it wasn't like home stuff. It was all work stuff.
Yeah, you did have a lot of good ones.
Yeah, so
there was a lot going on with her.
It was a lot going on.
Well, around her.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was around me, and so thankfully I got through it though. Thankfully we got through it.
Yeah.
And we're just here. So yeah.
Good old Saturday night. It's Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's Saturday.
It's
and it's what, 10:20? Yeah, and our daughter is still up, so you might hear her.
Yeah.
Come in and ask for snacks.
Well, we gave her Cheerios.
I gave her some Cheerios.
Good old Cheerios.
I normally don't, but in order for her to be to herself.
We had a pair. I bet they pay in Cheerios.
Pay her in Cheerios.
Go to sleep.
And then I had to give her some water because right after you give her the Cheerios, she's going to get back up and say she wants water. So, and then she's going to have to get back up and say she probably has to go to the bathroom because she had the water.
Okay.
Anyway, our topic today. So the reason why I brought up this topic was because I got a question from a client of mine, and she said she asked some questions based around premarital counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was at a stage to where she was trying to figure out if it was necessary to go to premarital counseling. And if they need to go through it. They felt like between them both they were getting serious. She was dating a guy, getting serious, and it was getting fast, and she was like, I think we need to go. And so I gave my advice as far as whether to go or not. And so I brought this up because I think it's something that we need to talk about, being that we had experience with it.
Yeah.
But also, is it necessary too? And so I just think that as we talk, you gonna say something?
No, go ahead. As we talk,
we'll kind of uncover some things.
Yes.
With it, and then we'll go from there. So my first question to you is, was premarital counseling like a thing when you were growing up? Because
no, not for real. It wasn't. Well, if it was, I didn't hear about it.
Okay.
I got friends that got married, different kind of ways, but it wasn't really like, we had to go to counseling, the whole time before we got married, or it was required or something like that. A lot of times we went to the courthouse, got married, or got married at church, but you didn't hear nobody talk about it. Even when my parents got married, I didn't hear them talk about it either.
Sure.
So
yeah. Did you hear when you were going to church when you were younger? Did you hear, like, was it talked over the pulpit or anything like that?
It's usually, so and so got married. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't explained, the process.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I just got louder, but so you can hear me. I think the only time I did hear about it was not to prepare for marriage, but to repair marriage. That's the only time I did hear it.
So it was more for couples who
was like, we having issues or nothing. It wasn't more of trying to structure marriage. It was like I said, it was more to repair what was going on.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't really. It was like marriage counseling. In
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
So, but the premarital.
No, I didn't hear about premarital.
Wasn't. But as far as when you did hear counseling and it involved marriage, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that part. I know for me, it was like I heard it often. I think one reason why is because my mom and dad, they were, my dad is a minister. And so, my mom, I remember them going to a marriage conference, and them being like licensed marriage counselors or marriage coaches or something like that.
Okay.
And so I remember them talking to couples. And so I seen that happen. So
you basically was just like firsthand.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why I gained a lot of passion with what I do now. But I seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I seen it firsthand with them dealing with couples and them just talking to them before they got married and sharing their story of how it was. I think I might bring them on. We should bring them on as guests.
Hey, that'd be nice.
Bring our parents on as guests.
Come on through. We're going to have to Zoom it.
Yeah, you got to Zoom it.
I mean, we have no choice there. They in Cali.
Send them from California. But just for the podcast, we ship them back on out.
Yeah, I see you later.
Right. But no, I think I heard about it often. I think I remember couples getting married. I went with my family members when my sister got married. It was something that was done. It was always where it was talked about. Like, so I knew that when somebody got married, I assumed they went to counseling first off.
Yeah. And
so in my mind, if you were in the faith and you were a Christian, you was like, this is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It was never, and I didn't look down, but I was like, oh, you didn't go to counseling? Like, I always felt like
it was something missing.
Yeah, it was something missing.
Like you skipped a step.
And I mean, if you weren't a believer,
you wouldn't know.
I didn't care like that.
Yeah.
But if you were and you told me, I was that was kind of my background when it came to that. And so when we got married, or when we were engaged, it was like automatic. And I think we of course talked about it.
Yeah. It was actually kind of crazy going through it. I mean, not crazy in a bad way. It was crazy because it was something I was learning. Basically, he did teach us a lot, although you don't remember. But he taught us a lot. At least he taught me a lot.
I mean, don't say I don't. I mean, I remember pieces once you brought it up.
Yeah, I had a refresher.
Because I was like, I forgot some of the things we did.
I'll explain some of the things. He showed us basically how to structure our conversations as far as arguments. Kind of like refrain from saying like certain things like, you're just like your mother kind of thing. What else? Oh, it definitely showed us one thing that we keep on doing, although we don't do it as much. It kind of helped us build our communication along the way, which is our we call check-ins. And the check-ins are relationship, where we talk about any grievances or anything good, just anything that's evolved around the relationship and how you feel about things. Finances, which has been, it sucks talking about finances, but then at the same time it's helpful because you're both on the same page of what's going on. I keep forgetting after that. It was finances.
We do compliments. That's not right after though.
No.
What is the next one? Spiritual growth.
I was about to say spiritual growth.
I was like, what?
You didn't skip the whole step.
I know I did.
Spiritual growth. Basically just, maybe you read something in the Bible that day or during the week, you want to say it then, or how you feel about just spiritual things that's going on with God.
How's God been speaking to you throughout your week?
Speaking to you. Kind of know more like vulnerable side. And then we go to compliments.
Which is a little awkward at times.
Yeah, because it's like you have to sit there and it's like, okay, hold on, wait, let me go back, think of all the things that happened this week.
And it's not like we hold off. We can still say what throughout the week before we meet.
Yeah.
It's just that it's helpful to get everything out in the air.
Yeah.
With the compliments is what I'm saying too. And so it might just be, like you said, We just talk about the good things that we enjoy about you.
It don't have to be big grandeur things or anything like that. It's something small or whatever you thought was something that helped you that week or something like that. Could have been something simple.
Yeah.
As long as you thank them for it.
Right. And it's sometimes for me, it sometimes feels it's because I don't accept compliments a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
me either.
And so when we do it, it's like, okay, stop. All right. Okay, stop. Okay. You can stop now. But it's helpful.
Yeah.
It is helpful to know that we're noticed, that, I'm being valued, and my presence is valued.
Oh, of course.
So,
and then the very last thing. We talk about sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of go into just like, just more so about our relationship and how we feel.
The sexual side of the relationship.
Right.
Yeah. Just so you know.
Yeah. And so it does help. But going back to premarital counseling, we didn't really do the sex part as far as talking about it.
No, he just basically...
No, I'm talking about when the check-ins. From the check-ins, we didn't gather that. We added that, didn't we?
No. Did we?
I'm asking you. You asking me.
I just know that we do it. So
I think we added it because it wasn't in our topics when we did.
I don't see him bringing that up.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So,
I think
we added that last part, but it's helpful.
It's helpful. No, but going back, like, how did we get that? Like, do you remember what we did?
It's kind of like school where you give you a packet, basically things to go over and it's homework and bring it back. But I remember we basically was in the office and we go there every week and he was basically telling us, hey, this is how you should do things. At least try to have a check-in so you can know where each other is at.
Yeah.
And basically gave us kind of like a structure how to do it. We just kept on doing that, and it's helped us tremendously as far as my communication, so she can know where I'm at, because my communication back then was not where I'm at now. No,
it wasn't. It wasn't at all.
And he wasn't doing that because of my communication either. He was just doing that because that's part of
the process.
The process.
But it did prepare us. I would say a lot of the things that we discussed in there, we had already.
Yeah, we already went through.
We went through a lot before premarital counseling. I felt like it was that confirmation that we were on the right track. Yeah. Because
we did a lot of texts and instructions and what else? Kind of like
you mean like what we did to prepare on our own?
Yeah, we did a lot of reading.
Yeah, we did a lot of reading. We watched videos together. We read. Oh, I just said that. We read. We discussed. We had conversations, like whatever it was. And so I guess that's probably what helped us prepare for even just engagement. Yeah. And then there's this. I'm gonna go over hopefully some questions. You can't see it.
She brought that up.
Right. It's by Norman Wright. It's 101. Here, you hold it up. I can't talk and do the same thing. 101 questions to ask before you get engaged. And so it's deep questions. And I'm going to try to pull some questions out of here before we end. But this helped us tremendously as well. So yeah, I think it just gave us a whole viewpoint of things. So we did a little bit of research. And so off of I think it was called, who was this? Wellsprings in Greenville. But they talked about premarital counseling for Christians and like what it was all about. So tell me, what were some of the main points they brought up when it comes to premarital counseling?
So basically it provides a healthy and biblical view of marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. I think some people don't know that part.
No.
And so, go ahead.
Well, I remember that was one of the things that he was saying, that as long as we brought up God first, and then pray and then handle whatever we got going on. So definitely they bring a view of God in that,
because
biblical view. Because
how many times has society or media gave a view of marriage?
Man. Well,
so
you
many
see,
times.
you see right now. I keep
Exactly.
bringing it up. He married
Love
at
is
first
blind.
sight.
Married
Love
at,
is blind.
Yeah, all those.
Where it's just you jump in a marriage and you automatically should know how.
Yeah,
You know,
but I think a lot of times we take that on and we make our own version of what we think marriage should be like, when we forget that the Bible says what marriage should be like.
Yeah.
Now, what premarital counseling does, I think, is help dissect that.
Well, yeah, I was kind of expecting it to kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, it's going to bring up all kind of issues and this and that. But really, it's more of leave your baggage.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of y'all building
Mm-hmm.
the structure that
Yeah.
you know for marriage, and not bringing baggage on or releasing whatever you got going on. You need to go ahead and leave that behind
Mm-hmm.
and heal, and then you know
Yeah. Yeah.
continue with each other.
Right. Right. Go ahead. What was the next part?
It helps you process and express your understanding, your unique roles as husband and wife.
Now, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember the worksheet or the exercise that we did where it talked about what will your responsibilities be when you get married. I do remember that. I don't remember much more than that.
Well, he brought up the Bible verse where basically is the wife respects the husband, the husband loves the wife. Well, yeah, it has submit, but that's the part that I took from that is
Okay.
basically for men it's respect and then love, and then for women it's love and then respect.
Ooh, I like that. Say that. Come on. Respect.
And then love.
So how was, okay, for men,
So basically,
Yeah.
for men,
you mean that men show?
no,
Oh, get.
should receive from their
Oh,
wife
okay.
respect and then love.
You see how
Right. See, she had a wait. Let me get that. Hold on. Let me pull them teeth out real quick.
I don't know. I'm just saying I don't remember.
Yeah. So basically, he was saying that for men, it's respect and then love. That's what we should be receiving, and then what we
Respect
should
first.
be giving for our wife is love and then respect.
I like that, because for us is that intimacy,
Yeah.
that communication, that vulnerability.
Yeah. Because if he was disrespectful and still loved me, I'm like, I don't know.
Right. and then that respectful role. It's like that entry, that gateway into what it feels, into what it's supposed to be like. Okay. All right. What's the next one?
I don't know why I put my phone
I know.
down. My
Put the
bad.
phone down. Come on now.
Provides a safe environment for working through any current and past relational issues.
Right. I think that's the part right there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that when we did go, we had already discussed.
Yeah.
Not that we didn't bring it up, but it was like, well, how y'all feeling with that? Are we good? Everything's fine. Now,
she had no words.
I didn't have
I
any.
didn't give her no words.
Yeah, I didn't have any.
At the very beginning, she had some words.
But I didn't have no worries after that. And so we were able to discuss that. But I think that's the main thing people go to.
Oh, yeah.
Is because I hear of people who are even in the dating phase who go to premarital counseling. And I'm okay with that, because there's a couple I know who, they're both divorced.
Yeah.
And so they both want
kinda
to
like,
make sure
we just want to.
before we even get to even thinking about engagement, can we just get to figure out what we are doing?
Right. Can we
You
see
know?
if we actually jail? Because I ain't about to go through this whole divorce thing.
Right. We're not about to do that. And so, and I'm a proponent of that. I think that's totally fine.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Because in a way, you're talking it through, and you need somebody to help mediate that discussion, especially if it's some trauma.
Well, you gotta see if they're serious too, because they might not want to go through it.
True. And some people don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people don't. I know there's people that don't, because it's like, why?
True.
Why I gotta talk? We talking about it.
We fine now. Why would I go through that?
Why would I go through that?
Yeah.
But like we said, I think it was that confirmation, because we could have initially said that, but a lot of people before they get engaged, before they get married.
Sorry, I was on that. Go ahead.
Before they get married, the officiate that person that marries them.
The pastor.
they require that they get premarital counseling through them,
Yeah.
or through their church before they even do it. And so it's kind of like, oh, we got to go through it.
Yeah.
And even if they're not in the faith, I know of a former coworker, who said they had to go premarital counseling because they rented out the church. Yeah. They don't go to the church, but they rented the church out. But because the pastor's there, they got to go through it. So they're not even Christian though, but they still went through it. So that's one of the things. Okay, what's the fourth point? Or is there a fourth point?
Oh yeah, couples define and work through their expectations of marriage.
Yeah. I
think that was a big one because I heard we talked about this before. Your expectations for me was bigger than what the expectations should have been.
Yeah.
If I phrased it right.
Yeah, I think I did put too much on you because of, if we're going into this, I wanted to make sure that it was real and I wanted to make sure that we'll flow together. But I did put too much expectation on you. And I would say that I did that the first year of marriage.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm saying, oh, yeah, because you said it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'll put it like that. Until she told me, and I was just like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I did because you just go through a lot when you're in your mind and you press fast forward real fast of where you want to be. You see other couples, you see where they are, and you just feel like, I need to be there. And so I think I rushed that. But I think my point is, though, even though we did go through premarital counseling, it prepared us for a lot and it gave us the foundation we needed. But it's not to say that everything will be perfect if you were to go through. Your marriage still is not intended to be all.
No, it's just like how we took some things and used it in the marriage doesn't mean like you're going to take everything out of there and think, oh, okay, this is our foundation. That's not it. You just basically take some tools they gave you, like, okay, we're going to use this to help us move along as far as, our conversations and how we act towards each other when we get angry. And I think that's how you should see it. It ain't like, where you see in the movies or TV or wherever, or if you ever been through counseling, it's not where you sit on the couch and you explain your problems. And
it's honestly, it's to help to see if you need to be married, if you both should be married.
Oh yeah.
The underlying message is, there was a pastor. Who was that? He said, I'm trying to do everything I can to get y'all to feel like y'all can't be married. But what he did is he's trying to dissect every area of when they get in there to make it feel like they're so open, so vulnerable, able to share everything, that everything comes out. So his intention is to know, I want y'all to really feel like something's happening.
We didn't go through all that.
And that's what I'm saying. It's different levels.
Okay.
I think different churches, different cultures.
Yeah,
I do feel like if we went to a different church, we would have gotten more. Well, I don't know what we've gotten, but we would have gotten something different.
We probably could have got less. Like, y'all good, sign the paper.
No, I think we would have got more.
Probably.
If we would have went to a certain church, I know.
Oh, if we. Oh,
yes.
Well, yeah.
We would have.
If you talking about your old church, yeah. They see us as they kid. They look at me like, sir.
Exactly.
We will dissect you.
But real quick, so there is a question that I saw on social media, right? And it kind of deals with this a little bit, but it's who is most qualified to give someone relationship marriage advice? And so it said, without dancing around the question like a politician, that's what he said, who would you take marriage and relationship advice from? You have to pick one or two, number one or two, not both, and explain why. So the first one is, would you take relationship, marriage counseling, or marriage advice from a 29-year-old with his or her PhD in marriage and family therapy, but no real world experience? Or, this is the next one, would you take family relationship advice from a man or woman with no degree, right, married for 25 plus years with real world experience?
Number two.
Why'd you say number two?
I mean, it's great that it was a 29-year-old got their therapy and everything, and with no experience, you can't really tell me exactly how to keep things going. I mean, you could give me what the book says.
That's what I was about to say.
And that probably from somebody that don't have experience. They just got the hearsay from somebody else, kind of thing. Or just a bunch of people did a study or something. I'd rather get it for somebody that's been experienced, went through the traumas and issues, and stayed together the whole time.
Yeah.
At least they'll be able to guide me, like, okay, this is what I did, or you shouldn't be doing that, or
Yeah.
It basically is like talking to an old head, but they've been together for 50 years.
Exactly. It's like with my parents.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't, and that's why I think a lot of times when I ask questions, or if you have parents that have been married for a long period of time, they are sometimes the ones that offer the best advice.
Oh yeah.
Or anybody in your family or anybody that you might know, pastors, leaders in your church, whoever they might be, but they can offer that experience because they had it and they went through it. And you can, I mean, have a PhD, I'm sure you did your clinicals or you did your, your studies.
You did studies and stuff.
That's cool and all.
Not everything in the book's going to help. I mean, same thing. Either way.
It can help.
It can.
But the experience is what it is.
Yeah, but the experience, at least you can take from that. I mean, you can take from the book and try to apply it, but.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
It's just not the same.
I could see the man and woman with no degree taking that book and dissecting that and being like, this is what ain't true.
Yeah.
But this is what is.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I had them saying it like that. I don't know why I had that. Right.
I will say one thing though, I did see the comment on there, and it makes sense because each relationship is different. Each marriage is different. But if it's somebody wise who's been through it, at least I can take what didn't work from them.
What was the comment underneath?
They put neither. It says what works for them. Yeah, it's not going to work.
And that's true. Yeah, it depends. But it said take advice.
That's what I'm saying. It said take advice. It don't say do it. I take advice from a lot of people. That don't mean I'm gonna do it. I just take their advice and know it's like that's not gonna work.
Yeah, you say thanks and keep moving.
At least now I know. Okay, this is not gonna work for me. This is not gonna work for my marriage. If I go down that route he did, that kept him going. But I already know if I do that with you, I know it's not gonna work. Yeah. Because each person is different. Like I have people, why won't you do this? She ain't gonna go along with that.
Right.
You dummy. Anyway.
You big dummy.
You big dummy.
But anyway, so before we end it, I wanted to go over some of these questions. The 101 questions to ask before you get engaged.
Oh, yeah.
And so what we used to do, he didn't remember. What we used to do is, since it was 101, I would have him pick a number or I'll pick a number and then we discuss it. So
now this is when we was dating, so.
Yeah, this is when we were dating.
There were some questions we couldn't do.
And why couldn't we do them?
Because there was temptation. That's why.
Why were they temptation?
What do you mean? Why was temptation? There was sex questions.
Explain it to the question.
There was sex questions.
Well, why couldn't we talk about sex?
What do you mean? Why we couldn't?
Some people can talk about sex. You just think it was a boundary we couldn't cross.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure the people know why.
I was celibate and she couldn't show no shoulder meat, no ankles around me because I was like,
it was that deep. And so a lot of even the discussions we had to keep it limited.
Well, not that. I mean, limited as far as sex.
Right. And after we got engaged, we opened up a little bit more, I would say.
Yeah.
So anyway, pick a number between 1 and 101.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 60.
60. Oh, it would help if I looked at the numbers. All right. So this is an example. Now we don't have to. This is not a right. We didn't write this. I'm just throwing this question out. We're not answering it. That's another podcast.
Okay.
But I'm just saying what type of questions it has when you ask these type of questions before you even get engaged. So it says, what are your financial responsibilities and goals? How capable are you in budgeting, balancing checkbooks? Why didn't we write this? shopping patterns. How stressful are these things to you? What debts do you have at this time? And have you ever filed for bankruptcy?
I don't think we ever went over that.
I think we went over finances. Oh, you know why? Because we were choosing questions.
Yeah, that's
and
what
then by the time we finished this, by the time we were engaged already, we said, all right.
We don't need this number.
So that's one question.
That was a good one, though.
Choose another. Oh, you want me to choose a number?
Yeah, go ahead.
15. Oh, okay, you do it. 15.
Oh, man. It's going to take me a minute.
Oh, gosh.
All right, I got it.
Oh.
Describe your life. Describe what your life was like before you met your current partner. Describe what you were like before you met your current partner. Why just ask me that twice?
No, it asked how they were like, and then how I was, yourself was like.
Oh, okay. Well, I read that all kinds of.
Well, we both wrote in that, so that's good.
So basically, it's asking how you was like before me and how I was like before her.
Okay, one more question.
Go ahead.
What number?
Let's go with 8.
8. What are the 3 most vivid memories you can recall from birth to age 18? So that was I'm looking at this as anyway. So I'm looking at the answers in here. So it's fun. It's good because you get to go back.
I'm about to go back and reread see what I put.
And then also what you can do is when you do get engaged, I do remember going through the book, but I don't think we really went through it because we were already like, well, let's plan a wedding. And honestly, that's another story we got to talk about, but we got married like 6 months later. So
yeah,
although we talk about it in our intro, but we basically got married. So we were just like, finish line, premarital counseling.
Finish line is continue.
Well, not finish, what I mean.
I know.
Okay. Of finish line of our singleness.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to our episode. I hope that you enjoyed our topic of premarital counseling. I hope if you are dating that you took some nuggets of what you can take with in your relationship.
Yeah.
If you're engaged, I hope that that's something you think about. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm throwing there that don't throw away therapy.
Yeah.
I think even therapy is something I wish we probably would have done before we even got married. And it's something that we could still do. We still got time.
Yeah.
But I think that would have sealed everything to confirm. And it's a lot of things that I've gone through in our marriage that I think would have helped in our first year if therapy was there. So just take some nuggets, get that, take that, move that, and groove that.
Okay.
I'll talk to y'all next time. Have a good night, day. Peace.
Deuces.
Thank you for tuning in to When Marriage and Purpose Collide, the podcast, with your hosts, DJ and Lucretia. And we hope you enjoyed our conversation and advice. If you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch the latest, you can follow Lucretia M. Haley, that's Lucretia M. Haley, on Instagram, and subscribe to Cree Speaks Life on YouTube. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.